We want to show you what President Trump posted on Truth Social after the meeting. He said, "We had a very meaningful meeting in the White House today. Much was learned that could never be understood without conversation under such fire and pressure. It's amazing what comes out through emotion, and I have determined that President Zelenskyy is not ready for peace if America is involved, because he feels our involvement gives him a big advantage in negotiations. I don't want advantage. I want peace. He disrespected the United States of America in its cherished Oval Office. He can come back when he is ready for peace." Now, this meeting between Trump and Zelenskyy was intended to produce a deal, a so-called deal on critical minerals. But after the exchange, we heard the future of that so-called deal is in real jeopardy. Joining us to discuss is Olga Khakova. She is a Deputy Director of European Energy Security at the Atlantic Council's Global Energy Center, and she joins us from Washington this afternoon. Olga, thank you for being there. I appreciate this very much. Just first of all, before I ask you about this so-called deal, just your reaction to what we saw in the Oval Office today.
The meeting did not go as was expected, I would say, on both sides of the Atlantic. There was a lot of optimism around having this deal signed today, having this agreement signed today. And of course, it's disappointing to see how the situation has diffused into a very heated discussion instead.
And why do you think that happened? I mean, what did you make of Zelenskyy being kind of berated in that way by the Vice President and the President of the United States?
I think there was surprise on both sides in the terms of the direction of the conversation. I think there was desire from both Ukraine's and U.S. side to come to some kind of a winning deal, some kind of a document that could showcase an alignment between U.S. and Ukraine. It's hard to have these types of conversations in a very public setting. This is a discussion that should have taken place in a more private, behind the scenes, without cameras, without journalists in the room. And I think that added additional pressure to an already a very sensitive situation.
What does this mean about the relationship or the support that the United States has for Ukraine or does not have anymore? We're hearing that there is no longer going to be any support from the United States to Ukraine in its attempt to defend itself from Russia's invasion.
Look, not everything is off the table yet, but it will take a lot of skilled diplomacy on both sides, from the United States, from Ukraine, to resolve these tensions in a private setting. The fact that Ukraine and U.S. could still benefit from a critical minerals deal, that still does not change. That's, that type of an agreement would still be beneficial. However, we've seen how closely any type of economic discussion, any type of economic deals are tied into a broader security conversation, a broader peace deal conversation with Ukraine. It's impossible to discuss these issues in today's world in a vacuum where you're talking about investments in a one conversation, and then you're completely switching over and talking about hard security guarantees, and the future of the conflict in a completely separate discussion.
So how do you recover, though? How does that relationship recover from this? I mean, that was something else.
Look, again, not all hope is lost. There are still pathways for United States and for Ukraine to work through this, but it will take a lot of strategic effort on both sides. And I think we have to take a step back and remember, what do we gain from the different scenarios? What do we gain from United States and Ukraine working through these tensions and coming to a healthier conversation, healthier relationship? And we gain a lot. We gain strong partners. We gain a stronger alliance to step up to Russia and their attacks, not only on Ukraine, but on broader European and even U.S. security as well. Just the cybersecurity attacks, the attacks on critical energy infrastructures, that's not limited to Ukraine. That is happening all across the West.